she said.
Maybe. Okay.
Says
So,
receiving your content.
hello.
You are live. We are back.
Hello all.
Can you hear us?
So I sort of redid everything now. Oh, this is going great.
Okay.
Can you hear us?
We're back. If we're back, hear us? Can you see us?
Everybody, say if you're watching us live and can hear everybody.
That was an adventure.
It was, and thank you for staying with us, Anti-Trekker, through all of that.
Oh no,
you enjoyed every second of that, watching us struggle, didn't you?
I truly did. I always like watching Titans struggle. That's you see, being one of the little guys out there, it's always nice to see that, you know, despite all my work and flawless live streaming work, you guys can do this and actually, you know, have a huge channel. That's it gives me hope.
We've realigned the warp core. We're back online. So
see, what happened is we need to put auxiliary power into the second subjunction of the EPS conduit on deck 7. See, I was going through deck 6.
We had to reverse the polarity of the induction valves.
Well, that was the last step. That was to reformat the drive via the cyclonic tubus drive matrix.
Vacuum cleaner.
Now, RSWW saying, can you show us the Foley class comparison again? I assume, were you guys showing something, or were they talking about showing
earlier? I'm gonna be back in a minute.
All right, go. Yeah, reverse the polarity on your stream. He's got to go pee.
Yeah.
You probably didn't want me to tell you that, but
is that reversing polarity in England? Is that
they don't pee it out. They like suck it in through the pee hole. Is from what I hear. It's all backwards over there.
Wow. Wow.
It's kind of gross, right?
Okay, so we learned something really disturbing today, akin to what we learned about Klingon anatomy, I guess, in Discovery. So that makes sense. Hey, don't blame me for that.
So we've got some people, one person in particular out there, Rob Burnett, who's an awesome guy. I can't wait to have him on in a few minutes. But he wanted to hear the rest of your question, and I don't know where we got cut off exactly.
Well, we were talking about how do you... and this is something that I struggle with, and one of the reasons that I despise Discovery. And I understand there are people that hate it. There are people that are like, eh, and there are people that think it's all right. But I cannot reconcile, even when I'm trying to, the technology in Discovery with anything else that we see in Trek, because it doesn't line up with Enterprise. It doesn't line up with TOS. Heck, it doesn't even line up with anything, you know, TNG or anything later. And the only thing it even comes remotely close to is a combination of the classic motion picture era with like the square warp nacelles and stuff, and the Kelvin verse with the window/view screens and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like so. Oh, and by the way, if any of you saw the Klingon video from earlier today where Captain Foley attempted to do a Klingon voice, that was so pathetic.
I told you, I'm not fluent in speaking with two dicks in my mouth, which is what they sound like they do. So,
first of all, yeah, okay. Do your like you did in that video, all right, just so they can hear it.
Okay, Lash. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
That's just like what it sounded like in that video. All right.
It sounds like I'm joking on something.
It does. No, here's how you do it. See, it's actually very easy.
That is pretty good.
Samuel does a good one too. But
yes,
he's
I do.
stressed out right now, so he's not going to do it.
No, I was just thinking though, should we bring another fan and we can talk Anti-Trek a little bit later if we want to?
Yeah, we're gonna cut you off, Anti-Trekker.
Of course you are, jerks.
Well, we got other people waiting.
Yeah.
Don't you know?
Oh, like
we're gonna bring in Rob Burnett right now and talk to him. And you're gonna stay around because we might bring you out at the end.
I will be available for probably about 40-45 minutes before I gotta get ready for work.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, thanks so much.
So I'll be listening to the stream, and just hit me up on Skype if you want me to join. Otherwise, have a great rest of your 4th. And you know, you're both welcome to join me anytime on my show. So take care.
All right. See you later.
Okay.
All right. So let's see if I can find.
You got to hang up though, Mr. Trekker.
Hang up.
I'm not gonna hang up. I'm gonna make you.
Mr. Reverse Trekker. Oh, there we go. Wow, he went.
No problem, Darth. Darth just threw into it. Sorry if I missed a lot of super chats. We've been dealing with a lot here, so.
Yeah, I do want to go back to them, but seriously, guys, this is a celebration stream, so any super chats are amazing to support. And
we were
going
gonna have Mecha Random join us in chat, but she had to leave. She had a horror live stream that they're doing at 6, so because of the technical difficulties, she was next in line, but she's been booted. I'm going to try to bring in.
Well, it might go for a long time, so you never know. She might be out of that stream and be ready to come back to this stream because it's a celebratory stream. That you guys
celebrate Trekyards
today. And we're on episode 3 with 48,000 views apparently. 619
let's
likes.
see if Rob is available.
22
Rob's
dislikes
been
in
watching,
4 years.
So.
Rob Meyer Burnett of Free Enterprise.
Hello.
Oh, Rob Burnett is here. Is in the house.
I am. Hang on.
You're very loud.
I'm watching some. Am I too loud?
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
You're just very powerful at the introduction.
Well,
There he is. There's the man, the myth, the legend, Rob Burnett.
hello there.
The man, the
I'm
only
wearing
one
a
of us.
politically correct T-shirt that's not very
Oh, yeah.
Can you see it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good.
I was about to say you're the only one of us that directed William Shatner. That's the, you know.
Oh well,
We can't say that. You know.
that's true. Am I on, or you guys? Or I'm in line.
You're live, so.
I'm live. Well, first of all, congratulations on 4 years.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
You know, the thing I want to say about what you guys do, like when I was a young whippersnapper growing up, poring over the Franz Joseph Technical Manual, buying fan-produced blueprints, buying the Star Trek Spaceflight Chronology when the motion picture came out, which, by the way, in my mind, still is canonical.
Yes.
Sadly, it's not. But you guys are doing for fandom now online what all of these backgrounders were doing back in the day. Like, you know, when I got Star Trek Maps, I think Star Trek Maps, that little booklet it came with about celestial navigation is still the most insane piece of Star Trek memorabilia that was ever officially produced. Like, I don't know who made it, but if you look at the Star Trek Maps, it's a newsprint pamphlet. It's like the most incredible thing ever, all about celestial navigation. I don't know who did it, but it's amazing. But you guys are carrying that torch, and the fact that you do other cool things like look at the ship from Life Force just warms my cockles.
Fleet Yards, yes.
And that was fun because obviously we tend to bring each other new ships we haven't seen before. That's part of the joy, you know. We can look at we can read off Memory Alpha or their equivalent, and that's fine. But I like the sense of, well, okay, Stuart, you've never seen this ship before. I've never seen this ship before. Analyze it based on what you know about general sci-fi. What can you take from pieces? Because if there's no context, you have to make it make sense. So Life Force, I was going as I think I said was organic really early on, and then once you then know the story, it's like, oh yeah, I got some stuff right, and often it's like, never seen like that before. So hopefully I did it justice there, Rob, not knowing anything about it at all.
I know, I loved it. And what's really interesting is when you think the way we all do, and you look at background information. Like I grew up reading like the Best of Trek, those anthologies of essays where people would take these deep dives into various aspects of Trek history, and that was my fandom. And like I interviewed for my upcoming YouTube show that I'm going to launch. It's a month late, but Robservations. I interviewed Diane Duane in Ireland, who was one of my very favorite Trek novelists. And one of the things that I thought was great about the novels were that, especially when Pocket took over and science fiction writers like Vonda McIntyre wrote The Entropy Effect, they were really building up the Star Trek background and extrapolating things in a really interesting way. And so when I was reading Star Trek novels about the original series, I knew there was never going to be an original series again. So the best of the novels I would add to my headcanon. And like there's a great scene in The Entropy Effect where Sulu is competing in these games of starship combat, where he was tumbling the Enterprise end over end as he was fighting. And I was like, wow, that made sense to me because of inertial dampeners and the fact that there's no what you could do in space, and how you had Sulu as a pilot who was playing these
Newtonian
simulator
physics.
It was great, and I'm like, of course that's the way it would be.
Hmm.
And even though we've only seen the space lake in Star Trek, which still drives me crazy, even though Kirk said, or Spock said, his pattern indicates two-dimensional thinking in Wrath of Khan, it in my mind, these things were always real, and they could always be extrapolated upon in real ways. And that's why a show like Star Trek Discovery drives me to distraction, drives me incredibly bonkers, because there is no effort made at all to reconcile that show with what's come before. None at all. And it drives me crazy, because for 40 years of my fandom, up until Star Trek 09, there was some element of reconciliation somewhere. There was always people trying to reconcile these things. And I when I see the Enterprise at the end of season 1 of Discovery, I'm like, that's not the Enterprise. Like, I don't care about if it's a visual reboot or whatever. That doesn't mean that it works canonically.
And just to jump in there, it's interesting that, I think a lot of fans were like, oh, cool, it looks more like a TOS ship, yay. But the fact is that sort of Stockholm syndrome, that they did something closer to what it should be, but you shouldn't give them credit for actively still not doing what it should be. It's like the new Klingons. It's like, they have hair now, yes, but they're still this wrong. So yes, they get some little bit of congratulations, but at the same time, they're still not at the level where it should be that every other show did. So it's like, it looks more like Enterprise, but it's still not the Enterprise, because the Enterprise exists. And we've seen fan versions just up the detail level. And I know that if 3 of us came together and they gave us some money, said, right, 4K up the Enterprise. It takes 3 days to give a full sketched out plan of how you'd up detail it to look modern and be exactly the same from a distance, because that's how you should be approaching it.
I mean, I was involved with a certain fan project that shall not be named, but that was what we were trying to do. And having gone through that experience where I was having long conversations with visual effects people, and it's easy to do. This is not a hard thing to do. The Star Trek universe had already been established. It's a period piece about a non-existent future, a fantasy future. And the same way, if I went back and made a World War II movie, I'm not going to suddenly put jet fighters in World War II. I can make it look better with better lighting, and I can have the same way that Patton looks different than Saving Private Ryan. But why everyone in the last 10 years feels the need to reinvent Star Trek without the consideration that, say, a Star Trek novelist or even comic book writer puts into canon drives me berserk. And it lessens part of the fun of Star Trek growing up was the universe. It was getting immersed in that minutia. And when you're seeing things that are like, but that's just not right. It would be like somebody giving you fake facts or fake news when you're like, no. I understand how World War II worked. I understand the factions involved. You can't tell me that the Nazis suddenly care about that the Nazis don't think that dead people are just dead husks, the way I heard in Heart of Glory. The Klingons already told you that an empty body is an empty body. Why would they have a sarcophagus ship? That doesn't make any sense.
Yep. I brought that up in the last discussion we had about that. But anyway, so that's what Trekyards is here for. We're here to fill in this niche and talk about all this crazy stuff, whether it works or not. We are kind of impartial in that regards. A lot of people have kind of bashed us for not, liking Discovery too much or hating Discovery. We're either haters or we're shills, apparently. But we take an impartial look at it and break it apart. And there is good in it, there is bad in it. We take a look at all that and in a fair light, and I think that's fair to say. So, anyway, Rob, I'd like to thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you.
We need to have you back because we need to talk about your new show.
Yes, please, and keep doing what you're doing, and congratulations for those 4 years.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, and we will talk to you soon. We'll schedule a filming time.
Thanks
I'll
much.
See you guys once again.
Bye, Rob.
See you, man.
And so people complain about the stream quality, and it's tricky because I don't know what and why, but I went into OBS and I lowered the quality by half, and hopefully that should allow it to look a little bit less good, but it won't be as choppy. So I do apologize, guys, but we can sort of do what we can do. It's tricky. It's tricky. This is unknown territory for us.
Yeah, we're Sam was doing a great job of juggling it, and hopefully you guys appreciate that. We are trying.
Thanks, Gareth Fairclough, £5. Evening, gents. You're neither shills nor haters, but shillators. Thank you.
I like that.
Dale Stafford, $2 from an OG fan. Always remain sleek and rad. Congrats. Yes, they understand. Darth Kilhoon, thank you, Captain Foley, for the subscription yesterday.
Yeah, I subscribed to his channel.
Thomas Potts, I can't stand the Discovery Cleons. 4, please. There we go. Yes. Birmingham update.
We do have a we do have another kind of Star Trek celeb, if you will, personality on the next on the line. Hopefully, we're going to be talking to the writer of the Mr. Scott's Guide to the Enterprise, Laura Johnson.
Another still yet to be released guest, because we have many of those, because we've got a buffer and we just haven't released it. So many. There we go. Oh, and an ad as well on YouTube for PPG Industries of Families.
Hello, Laura, you there?
I'm here.
All right, everybody, welcome Laura to the show.
So you're Scotty's publicist. Is that the summary? Official publicist.
Kind of, sort of. Yes, I'm here.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
And sorry for all the technical difficulties we've been trying to overcome and sticking with it. That's much appreciated.
It's all right.
All right. So, tell us a little bit about how you first heard about Trekyards and your experiences with us so far.
Well, I guess what was it? A couple of years ago or so, kind of when I reemerged from obscurity and went online looking around to see where Star Trek stood, and who was out there working hard to keep it alive. I came across you after just looking around on Facebook, and at first just went through and read posts and stuff, and was really, really impressed by the level of knowledge that you members had, and that the two of you had, and everything, and decided I wanted to be a part of that. So that's why I joined the group, and you have not disappointed.
Well, we've been trying to. Sorry, just kidding. Well, thank you for that. That coming from you, that means a lot. I mean, that Mr. Scott's Guide to the Enterprise, was right beside my Franz Joseph Technical Manual growing up. It was one of my Bibles for the Enterprise, and the amount of work and detail that you put into that, which we've talked to you about this already, which hasn't been released, as Samuel said, but not everything you even created is in that book. They had to scale it back.
Right.
So it's really satisfying to be able to talk to you and other people like you that are behind the scenes, that I grew up knowing the names, but I didn't know the person, and to get to know you guys and actually kind of become friends with you all has been amazing. So, and all because of our love for Star Trek. Like when Samuel and I started Trekyards, we just both loved ships and wanted to create a show that we would want to watch. So I'm amazed that people like you found us, and now we're sitting here talking about it. So I'd like to thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure. Working on the book back when, and this is forever ago, 86. The book originally was supposed to be a lot longer. It was supposed to be about 40 pages longer, and I wanted to include fold-out deck plans and all kinds of things, but the publisher got cold feet and was afraid the book wouldn't sell, because there hadn't been much after the material that they released for Star Trek the Motion Picture, because it didn't sell very well. You know, they put out the blueprint set, and they had put out Spaceflight Chronology about that time, and just a few other little things, and none of them sold very well. They had the sticker book, they had the make your own bridge book. They had, different things.
I remember
And
some of those.
yeah, and none of them had done well. That's why there are almost no Wrath of Khan books. They did one black and white photo novel that wasn't very well executed, and that was really about it. So at that point, they were really a bit scared of jumping back into Star Trek.
But isn't that just then about the quality of what was released rather than the lack of interest? Because, your thing was very, very popular because it was hardcore Trekkies in the minutia, whereas a sticker book, no offense, but also offense. If Trek fans would rather have, a 10-page book showing how a torpedo launcher works than a sticker book.
Right.
So people aren't going to off the shelves. I mean, just because it is Trek merchandise doesn't mean a coaster with Spock's face on is going to sell as well as a technical manual. It doesn't mean that.
Right. I think that's a good bit of it. I think they misread what Star Trek fans wanted to see, and but I originally had offered them to do a blueprint set, and they're the ones who initially said, "Why don't we do a book instead?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I put together the proposal for a 160-page book and was working on it, and they contacted me and said, "We would like to cut this back to 128 pages." And so suddenly I had to get rid of a lot of things and modify a few things. And I was working under a lot of pressure. I had a very short deadline. They had made demands of me as far as continuity goes. I was to maintain continuity with the FASA materials. I was to maintain continuity with the spaceflight chronology. And so the dating system that's in Mr. Scott's Guide later on was retconned quite a bit. And so it wound up not being accurate. That seems to be most people's major complaint about the book is the dating system that's in the book, but that wasn't my fault. I did what they told me. And
Exactly.
Anyway, went through and cut those things out of the book, and they got out there and were pre-selling the book. And they cut the print numbers way back. They reduced the number of the first printing by more than half, and they just really, for some reason, lost confidence in the book before it was even released. But they started to do pre-sales and got out there, and suddenly it took off. And the pre-sales were amazing. And in fact, they were halfway into the second printing before the book was even. So the first and second printings are basically both first printings, but the book did very, very well, and which was a pleasant surprise. In fact, while I was working on the book, because of how poorly all the motion picture books had done, Lee Cole, who had been the graphic designer on Star Trek: The Motion Picture, one of them, she had done the symbols that were used in the sticker book. Yeah, all the symbols you saw on the doors and whatever through the ship.
Yeah.
She told me, she said, "Get whatever money you want out of this up front because you won't see a dime once it's released." And I said, "Okay." And so I negotiated what I could, but there wasn't a lot of room because they're the only Star Trek publisher, and their attitude was kind of like, where else are you going to go? And but fortunately, the book did very well, and I made a decent living off of it for about 10 years. And I think that opened the door. Mr. Scott's Guide doing as well as it did open the door for pretty much all the Star Trek publications that followed, because that showed them, if you do this right and you put something out there that people actually want, then you'll do okay. And so I'm really happy to have been a part of kind of the resurgence of Star Trek publishing, and so.
Well, it's like I said, it's a real honor to be able to talk with you and have you on the show. So appreciate you coming on and joining us for this our 4-year anniversary today. So
And we've got
thank you very
5
much.
guest announcements, and you're absolutely one of those. And so when we get the time to edit those, we're gonna have like a lovely little month of guests, and it's gonna be crazy cool for you all. This is like boom, 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 celebs. And
Yeah.
content.
And I'm sure we'll have you back on to talk about a few other things as well, because you've got a lot of behind the scenes stuff there. So
And just a thought behind things, you had to get so in depth with these things that'd be fun just to double breakdown.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
all right,
Thank
well,
you.
thank you for coming on, and we will talk to you again soon.
All righty. Take care.
Thank
All
you.
right, we'll do.
Bye bye.
All right, so
Who else, Stuart? And just
Well-
everyone in the chat, do super chat away, guys, because that's always cool. Show your support with
we've got a
support.
request from David Bessig, who does super chat quite often to come on. So we're going to check and add him in.
I think lots of people that saw the first stream have not returned for the second stream.
Really?
Well, you know, we had more people, and
Ah,
I mean, how many people did you have joining the live? Are they still all available? Because obviously we had like 11 people, didn't you say, at one point joining the conversation? And now Stuart's gone. Stuart is gone, everyone.
no, I'm not. I'm right here.
Stuart
Don't
is
say
back,
that I'm
everyone.
gone. Why would you say I was gone? It's such a lie.
Well,
I had a
you know.
Skype issue. Hold on a second.
Actually, the name of today, 4-year anniversary, the Skype issue.
The issues. All right, so let's bring in David Bessig. He's a fan that's been with us since for a long time, and wants to join in. And
Oh wow, that's your voice.
Is it? Are you
that's
sure?
my voice.
Are you even sure?
Oh wow.
Do you have video or just audio?
Just audio today, gentlemen.
Okie doke. I'll make our faces bigger then. Mwah! There we go.
So thank you for wanting to come on.
What's
tell us
up?
a little about your Trekyards experience.
Well, I became a huge fan of you guys after I had a really bad accident, actually, and I was incapacitated for a long period of time. And I found your channel. I started watching it, and during my downtime, I had a pretty severe injury. I learned how to 3D model, so I started taking cues from you guys on how to make better starships, and I've been working on that for 2 years now. I've had a ship on the show before, the USS Washington. It's a Yorktown class. So
I love you said it so casually. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
yeah, no, it's a normal thing for me. I was an officer in the Army Reserve for United States Army. My military career is pretty much finished due to the extent of my injuries. But I got a cool new job now. I got a good hobby in 3D modeling. I just learned how to UV map textures like a couple weeks ago, and
I still can't do that. It's
Yeah.
a good job.
yeah, I got a big project in the works that I want to do the $150 package for with you guys and come on the show and talk about it, and really excited to get that finished. Still kind of can't believe I'm actually talking to you right now. It's kind of crazy. I don't mean to mansplain on. It's just,
We're all men
guys
here,
like-
so you can't mansplain to a man.
Right, yeah, it's just, you guys are kind of like, visionary / heroes for me. So I'm glad you guys do what you do and that you're, keep trekking on, sort of say.
Okay, that's very
Well,
kind.
thank you. I've heard a lot of stories like that too, where people have been in the hospital or been going through some rough times, and they put us on in the background or whatever. They watch us, they binge watch, and then by the end of it, they feel like they know us, like they're friends of ours, and that's
Yeah.
really awesome to hear that. So
I mean, I
Yeah,
put
that's
Stuart in
cool.
my head, and I feel like I'm friends with him.
yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
I don't even know
yeah,
what to say to that.
I'm just really glad, I found your channel. Yeah, I see the Yorktown on the screen now. I know
Yep.
there's a little delay here, but
Just a
wow,
bit of a-
the
Easter eggy
I've come a
nature.
long
That
way.
now the designers on the show with us, with other us, for the past, from episode
yeah.
286. So go check it out.
Boy, let me tell you, the number one thing I learned for anybody listening to this who wants to make 3D models from Commander Cockings is I think you call it the rule of 5 or 10%, with those little 5 or 10% adjustments you make here and there to the length of something or just the size of something that makes all the difference. when you're setting things up and you know, trying to figure out what looks good from different angles.
How did I don't remember. Sorry, it's been obviously over 100 episodes. How did I Did I give a good review? Were they good comments we gave? I remember with that one we broke it down quite a lot because we liked the shape, but also little pieces we thought were kind of like not random, but we had thoughts about, which is what we don't try and complain.
Right.
Try and give thoughts. What we like.
The number one thing you got wrong was actually, unfortunately, was Captain Foley. You kept calling them blinky thingies, I think, and that was my bad for not delineating that was actually tractor beam emitters. The little the two little black balls next to all the hangar bays. My idea was everywhere there was a hangar bay or something, you would have a tractor beam to pull
Makes
things
sense.
in. So that was, and this ship was kind of a weird hodgepodge with some Prime Trek elements and some JJ elements. I know, Captain, you really liked the jet engine look on the back of the nacelles there.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the JJ inspiration there. And there was a little bit of, I think, Alpha Discovery in there too, but just some very loose shapes of that.
I appreciated that. I know I called that out for sure.
Yeah, and then, but of course, there's the texture job. So if you want to know the secret to how that was done, I literally selected polygon by polygon and changed the shade color to a base color.
Oh, no, that's what I do. I can't texture. That's what I do in my models if I'm ever retexturing. It's not great. But again, what software are you using? Max? Was that what you're using?
No, I'm using a student version of Maya. I'm using 2017 Maya, completely self-taught. So,
well, as you know, you can do a lot with Maya, so it's certainly, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, if you've got another design, the best thing to do is if you know you're going to commission an episode, just chat to us in advance, and then, get some. Well, that's part of the package that we chat with you for about an hour on Skype and go through it all and let you go ahead, make tweaks, and then send us the model, and we make even more beautiful things with it.
Yeah, once I have something that's respectable of your time, I will definitely drop your 150 in there, and we'll and set that up. I'm really excited to do it. I don't know if you guys been looking at the new Discord in some of the subfolder or categories you made there. And for everybody listening, if you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord. We got a really good game going on in Stellaris, and the more the merrier. So I'm the Klingon Empire in that game, and we are about to launch a massive offensive, me and my allies, against the Suliban. So I mean, if you wanna get in, it's more the merrier. But anyways, I digress.
So you just warned the Suliban because they're watching the stream.
No,
now they know.
That's a computer. That's
Defenses.
a computer.
Oh, it's the computer. It doesn't know anything.
Yeah, they don't know yet. Just don't play as the Suliban if you're gonna join, because the Suliban are about to be annihilated. But yeah, I've been posting some parts and pieces of it in the Discord chat under the dry dock section. So for some of you who've been watching, you know what's coming. It's my biggest 3D model project yet. I would say it's several thousand times more detailed and better made than the Yorktown was. And obviously, I'm using real textures now. I've learned how to do, specular shading, bump mapping, all that good stuff.
They are things. They are important things. Good. And like I said, Maya, are you using Substance Painter and stuff to make cool textures, or are you trying to...
No, sir. Photoshop by hand. I would like to get into Substance Painter at some point, but for right now, I'm just doing it for Illustrator, Photoshop, and Maya, and learning the different.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, that's how they made Babylon 5 and Farscape and Firefly and Battlestar Galactica and Stargate and Star Trek and other Star Trek and other Star Trek. That's what they did. That's a new thing. So the classical way. The classical way.
Yes, sir.
And
I'm gonna keep stirring you guys, because I guess in my mind you guys outrank me, because Stuart's like a captain, you're a commander, and in the army I was a lieutenant, so I'm like underneath you guys. So I'm gonna probably sandwich the crap out.
I quite like it.
This is great.
I've always the lower ranks, so Stuart never. They respect me. It's terrible. So this is lovely. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the military brain speaking right there. But yeah, for anybody who wants to put a ship on the show, who's listening, I highly recommend it. It was probably the largest thing that helped me get better as a modeler, because I got a lot of fan feedback. I had what I would call the subject matter experts tear it apart, and you're gonna learn a lot about a lot of things if you just put it up there, and it's good for the channel too. So highly recommend it.
And as hopefully you felt, it's not about being negative or positive. It's about breaking it down, because any shape can be amazing or bad, but it's about looking at the tech and saying, well, obviously this all needs to make sense. So as soon as you understand the rules of how a ship works, you know, things sort of, well, that doesn't quite make, you know, visual instantly doesn't quite work. So it's more just things to help, to improve, to tweak, and because like you said, it's those final few percent that can make the massive difference. As you know, I've seen on several ships I've designed now. So it's those final little bits, like just getting the deck layout perfect for Horizon was a real B word, and all the different things, and saying up-res that. Like literally one of the last steps was like, right, now we need to make sure there are transporter emitters, like the tractor beam emitters everywhere there should be one, and they've got to look like this, but higher detail, and put them here, because that's important. We can't miss out little rectangles on the bottom of the ship.
Well,
Very important.
You're gonna love my new ship. I don't want to give anything away about it. I want it to be a surprise. But what I will say is, I kind of put my own flair from a military background in it because it's hyper detailed. Like, I mean, I invented a few new things that you don't normally see in Trek that are gonna be in there. So, you'll get
That's
plenty
a hell of a cell. It's quite a high-end cell here.
Yeah,
You'll see truly unique things nowhere else in the world. I've invented them just for you.
No, it's not that. It's just, you know, you don't normally see him in Star Trek. And it's Doug Drexler is a huge also life inspiration here. So I take a lot of cues from Doug. And actually the inspiration for this secret project came from him during one of your episodes. So maybe somebody will go find that somewhere. I don't know. But
That's
but
interesting.
yeah. So I don't want to disrupt your stream flow, you know, for too long, because I know you guys got a schedule or something.
No, we don't. It's all gone to pair anyway. Don't worry. It's all good.
I got another minor celebrity on the line for next, so
yeah.
I'd like to thank you, David, for coming on.
Thank you so much.
It was great hearing from you while your ship was
Oh wait, can I
playing.
say one more thing, gents, before I go?
Absolutely.
So it's been a kind of a running joke in the chat. You're always saying my name wrong every single time you say it, and it's kind of like a running joke now. So it's Bissig. Is how it's said.
What do I say?
Yeah, everything. I get Bisig. I got Blissing from the commander last time he referenced me the other night. So,
We apologize.
It's okay. I thank you so much for what you've done for me, guys. I couldn't have come this far with 3D modeling without you.
Look,
so.
just change your name to Cockings, and I'll get it. Okay.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. We're glad we, we're an inspiration, and we really appreciate you coming on and talking about that. That was awesome. Thank you very much.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
On episode 5, our first Legends episode, Bird of Prey, and we then remastered. And I know this is Fabio's amazing Bird of Prey model, but I can't light it well, and just to see the difference that we've come. Although we're refined cell cars, but similar. It's nice to see all the improvements.
So we
guys.
have another
person. So
on
at some point,
here.
I wonder if this is going to change from the old set to this new set. So I'm interested to see if we get to that point. I don't think we will, because that's quite a few episodes in. But yes.
Yeah, it's quite a few episodes in. But we have Z Films joining us in just a second. Yeah.
Well, I think we have some people still in the chat still in the group from the previous calls. I just want to kick them out just for clarity's sake.
And John Hathcock just put in $9.99.
Oh my god!
Happy anniversary, Trekyards.
Thank you
very much.
Amazing.
All right, we got Z Films in the house. Hey, how's it going, man?
Yo, what's going on?
Good.
Not too much. We had a little bit of a issue early on, technical glitches and such, but we
Everyone
I
wanted
was
to say
trying to
hi.
watch at work.
I overloaded the plasma conduit since they just blew up. It's good. It's terrible. Do you want to just move your camera down a smidge because you're headroomy? Yeah.
Max head.
There we go.
Oh, perfect.
That's better.
So who are you? How do we know you? We know who you are, but who are you for the fans out there?
I'm a Canadian too, just like Mr.
outnumbered.
Foley over there. Yeah,
He's
actually
very
no,
near me as well.
not outnumbered because we're all part of the Commonwealth. Remember?
Yeah.
That's true. We all have the Queen on our money.
So no Americans can join the chat right now, otherwise we will outnumber them 3-1. And as you know, that means something. I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry. Hi.
But no, for people who don't know me, I'm Zeph Films. I've done a little bit of work with Trekyards for Star Trek Online related
I
stuff.
was going to email you the other day. I probably should have done that. Expect an email.
You sent me an email?
No, expect what I was going to email you the other day.
To.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And we have a super chat from David Cockings, by the way. Thank you.
You got the last name right. Yay!
I did. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yeah, so
Happy
you do a Star
anniversary.
Trek. Oh, thank you very
4
much.
years on the tube.
Yeah, how long have you known about us?
The way I found out about you guys was you were doing one of your Star Trek Online videos, and it was for, I think it was for the Manticore, when the Manticore came out.
One of my favorites, yeah.
And the Manticore is like one of my favorite Star Trek Online ships, done by Thomas Maroney.
Well, teamwork.
and-
He did the new version. But the
Yeah,
original
teamwork, but
yeah.
I know it's one of his babies too. Yeah, it's I was all about like the Manticore hype. I was doing screenshots and stuff like that, and I saw it came up in my suggested feed. So I clicked on the video and I'm watching. I'm like, hey, some of those screenshots look familiar, and it was just some of mine that I had posted like wherever. Like I'm like, oh, I think I actually commented. I'm like, oh, kick ass. That's one of my screenshots. It was pretty cool, and then that's when I started watching, and then was it a couple of years later you guys needed some STO screenshots. Was it the STO screenshots or the Pathfinder stuff? I know there was two, but one came before the other.
No, I think I contacted you to getting we want to do our first Stowe month. We're doing sort of theme months, and it was 4 ships, and we had problems because there is no just black space, and there is one, and it's awful because it's really black. I just wanted out of context shots. And you gave like 8K, and that was like, oh my god, they're so big. Well, the models don't quite hold up to 8K, so it didn't make too much difference, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I actually just recently found out how to make a black background without having to go into Foundry and making like your own separate mission. So if you need those again, it'll be easier next time. I won't have to go to the Foundry and try and figure out how to use that.
Good to know. Good to know. Well, I'm glad you could make it on. I know you were at work and you weren't sure if you could make it, but glad we got you on.
No, I'm glad to be here.
And you're a great source for me. First of all, obviously we met in person in Canada as well.
Yes.
But
meet and greet. Yeah.
Well, and just
that was last year, in the summer of last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boston Pizza.
Yes.
We
we got to hang out before that too, and
yeah.
And
he came to my my place. We were hanging out in the back there.
Yeah.
What I've always appreciated about your work, though, is that you have genuine cinematography behind it, and obviously you've improved over the months or years, however long it's been. You know, clear improvement and clear, because at the end of the day, these are just ships, but it is totally how you like them, or that's obviously an engine, but you can pick where you put the ship. But actually having cool angles, making these things sexy, and I know that the Stowe guys love your work for that. And I mean, if there's a ship I really want to know about, or you did a comparison like the NX-01, the original to the new model was really interesting to see. They just did one on the new Discovery ship, and it's like, well, that is the first time we've seen that ship in 3D. We didn't quite beat you there, but you beat us for that one, and we'll give you that.
I think I got you beat on the Malachowski too.
That's what I mean. Yep. Yep.
But no, the whole reason why I started those, it's like, for me growing up, I grew up with TNG, so I was always a huge fan of like the nice swooping in shots of the D, that phrasing of the Enterprise D, and then going into the movies like Generations. A lot of people didn't like Generations. I love Generations. Nemesis had one of my favorites Trek movies, and more notably the battle scene with the scimitar and the Enterprise E. All the cinematography done in that scene was just kind of like, it always gave me the shivers. So in Star Trek Online, I started playing around with demo record, and I was having fun with it, and new shit coming out, and people were like, I can't really see the details on the ships. And I don't think a lot of people realize all the details that go in unless they watch Trekyards, of course, because you guys really do get into the nitty gritty. So that's why I started doing like these cinematic ships. Like, these ships aren't just ships, they're characters in the Star Trek universe. And I also wanted to give that up close look and to show the level of detail that the Star Trek Online developers are putting into these ships. Like, now they're pretty much copying them are modeling them verbatim from CBS, like the Malachowski. Like, bam, that was spot on. The crossfield, the walker. I don't know if you guys have seen the bridges, the walker and the crossfield bridges.
I've seen stills. Yeah, certainly impressive from those guys. I'm excited to play the new expansion. It came out yesterday. You know, the detail level, I mean, they are licensed. It does make a big difference, but they do put attention to detail in. And it's considering it's an old engine with limitations that are serious. I know they've done some upgrading in the last couple of years, and the lighting engine got improved, but they can do some good stuff. And I mean, that really is the very first Discovery video game, and it's certainly more what we'd want to play. Ship, interior, exterior, and everything else.
Well, I was doing a live stream playing the new Age of Discovery yesterday, and I said something. I'm like, we're in a very interesting time right now. The last time Star Trek, like a Star Trek TV series came out, was Enterprise, which was in 2002. YouTube wasn't around. You were lucky if you were able to do a podcast on the internet, because that cost bank. Like, you'd have your own Winamp server for a radio or whatever, right? But now we're in the opportunity where we have a Star Trek game that's in tandem with Discovery. We have, like, you guys, Trekyards, me doing ships, whatever comes to Star Trek Online. There's so many people able to communicate with each other while everything is happening. And I just think that's actually, like, really amazing. Like, this is an awesome time to be a Trekkie.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. And I was saying that earlier today, like, Lore Reloaded, Anti-Trekker, Macarandum, Trekyards, Space Dock, EC Henry. There's so many great channels out there, and we like to work with all of them and do collabs and crossovers and really support each other, because it's a great community. And Z Films, of course. It's great to be able to have that kind of community on YouTube and actually, like, foster it and help everybody out. So I think it's great.
Well,
it's a great time. Like you said, it's a great time to be a Star Trek fan.
And one thing I think a lot of people don't necessarily think of is that we are doing this stuff for the fans. Like, it takes genuine time, effort, energy, where you could be doing anything else, be it walking in the real world, going to dinner with someone you haven't met yet, randomness, but you're actually putting in a lot of time, thought, energy, and especially if we've got some talents between us, we all three have different talent sets. It's real effort for them people to watch. None of us are doing our stuff just to put it out there. We all actually create a standard and want to create a standard that hopefully people now and for years will watch. When we're playing episode 4 of Trekyards right now, or episode 6, even back then, and I guess that's nice symmetry, it was still research everything, do the best script, make it as good as possible, do all the pictures we can possibly find, non-canon, side-canon, whatever, do animations if you can, everything that's possible to make it the definitive piece, as you get as close as you can, and but not too close to ruin the models, and show all the angles and put well things, and because people who watch the videos, they're putting time and effort into to check it out. And certainly nowadays, when you look at fan films, the quality has to improve because people expect more. So we all want to keep improving and such, but I think we are all able to we all want to, and I think do for the most part, deliver cool, high quality things. And not everyone feels the need to do that. It's just more of a fun thing, but I think those are creative and a bit crazy. They kind of take it a bit more to heart,
Yeah. It's especially you guys. Like, you guys are video, at least one video every day, and then you have
not every day. We have like four a week, if not 5
a week. I thought you had one a day.
We did for a long time.
That sucked.
We haven't for a while now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was too much, but we do. We have a Saturday, a Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then we do a live on Sunday, live on Wednesday, and then random stuff if it comes on. Well, with Discovery in Orville, we had 7 days a week content, and then 2 on several days, and we'll probably do that again when we hit season 2, and that was a blast. Although it was super draining, but I mean, you could tune in daily for Trekyards, and I think a lot of people that became sort of their daily routine. Right, it's 5 p.m. in England and 12 in Stuart's time, and let's see what they've come up with
land.
in Canada. Thank you.
Canada, yeah.
I love Canada. All hail Canada.
Yeah, no, it's like we do it for the fans, to entertain. Like, that's why I do the cinematic stuff. Like, to show appreciation to the work that goes into these beautiful works of art. Like, the Crossfield is kind of debated as one of the ugly ducklings of Starfleet, it has grown on me significantly since the very first teaser trailer that came out. I thought it was an abomination, and then I've grown to love it. I don't know what it is. I love it. But that's the thing with anything really. Like everything is subjective, and I don't want to leave something out because I don't like it. Like I'll still do a video on something if somebody else finds it appealing or whatever, right? But yeah, the amount of work that goes in is just like I don't do the level of videos that you guys are doing. Like I don't have to do any research on my stuff. I just sit down for a couple of nights and do my thing and then wait for it to render. But even me trying to do like one video a week, I did that last week because we had all the ships coming out for Agents of Discovery, and I still didn't even get them all. Like the Europa, I still have to do that one. But that was a task and a half. I'm like, yeah, like you said, you could be out doing something else, but it's rewarding. I enjoy it. I like the feedback, and that's why I guess I keep doing it. Really.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was nice that you create stuff that's truly artistic. You know, there isn't personality, there isn't beyond your cinematography, there isn't bias, there isn't whatever. And I think the Stowe guys will admit as well, you can make their game look better than I think most of us have played it looking.
Yeah, well, that's the other reason why I do it too, because I know not everybody can have the fanciest computer components. Like you can't have like the 2080 that I need to get my hands on. You can't play it at 4K or whatever, right?
Oh no, poor you.
But no, there's some people who are still playing like barely on integrated graphics, and they don't get to see the beauty that's in there. So it's fun to be able to do that.
And I know they're pushing their models all the time. I mean, every single new ship is the best they can make it, and it shows. It really does.
Yeah. There hasn't been a ship or like a ground element. There hasn't been anything that's come from the art team that has been less than stellar. Like the story might be a little bit lacking in places, but the artwork that they're pushing out is amazing.
Which is nice. You've summarized Trekyards. It's like the story it doesn't necessarily matter, but the art, the designs, the thought process. I mean, that stuff is so out of context, and you can just look at it and enjoy it. You know, and that's why we can spend hours dissecting these things, and people want to check out, because at the end of the day, a ship is all nations, all people, all times, whereas a story is, you know, one episode, one season, limited by politics of that year. You know, Star Trek 6 is all about the politics of that specific Berlin Wall coming down. That's so time sensitive, and others as well. But ships, it's like, you know, it's so fascinating, and we can put more in it than they ever did. Oops.
Well, I think I heard Anti-Trekker say this earlier on the stream before I left work, but he was saying that he uses your guys' stuff kind of as like a database and a point of reference. And I find myself doing that a lot too. I actually was really, really using your guys' video when the NX refit came out. Like, that was a big
episode we did,
thing. Yeah, and that was a big thing for Star Trek Online, because people are begging for that forever. So yeah, I was watching that video pretty intensely when the ship came out. I've done that for a bunch of other ships. I think I've actually linked to your videos for some of like the before and after. I think I did it with it was a Doug Drexler video for sure. I want to say it was the Enterprise J. Maybe, but yeah, it's really good to be able to have your stuff to fall back on and be like, you want more information about this ship and how it was designed and all this and why it never made the TV? Go check out this video. So thank you guys for what you guys do for the Trek community. It's I know I don't know the amount of work. I can only imagine. It's probably more work than I have to do, and the work that I have to do sometimes makes my hair come out.
and that is a nice pivot. I mean, the reason we can do it is it's my full-time job and Stuart's part-time job, and because of that, we have to raise the funds of with the channel to raise the money to support the channel to allow us to do the same crazy content. Because I don't think people would enjoy it as much if it was once a week. One ship, one episode a week. You can tune back in every Wednesday. Now, people expect 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 a week. and that does take a lot of time, just raw time, a time that you can't do another job in. Therefore, we have to get paid for the job to pay the rent, and therefore we have to support. I mean, it's that's why some shows go by the wayside and some continue, because you dictate what continues by viewing it, because viewing it equals ad revenue equals able to continue it. That's why Discovery does so well, because people want to know about it.
People in the audience, skip out a coffee a day and just take that change and put it towards your favorite creators' Patreon. Like, if you find yourself watching Trekyards every day whenever they release something and you are actually entertained, skip a coffee a day and chuck it towards these guys so they can.
And good for your liver
every
as
little
well.
bit helps. Yeah. It's I started up a Patreon for myself, and that now funds licensing for 2 cinematic videos. I mean, it's something. And I'm extremely grateful for it, and it's not a cheap thing to do. But it is what it is, though.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming to talk with us, Z Films. Sorry, I keep calling you Z Films.
No, it's cool. Z Films or Z Films, whatever tickles your fancy.
Yeah. We look forward to maybe speaking with you eventually soon, getting you on an episode of Trekyards, and maybe showing off some of your animations during that. That'd be very cool. So guys,
and I definitely want to do another Stowe month, so I want to knock on your door. And it's good that you could do some even clearer stuff, because there's like a billion ships, and
dude, yeah, there's been so many ships that came out since your last Stowe month.
Yeah.
Jeez. And I think I've covered almost all of them.
He sounds so excited. His shirt has #ship porn on the back. Just so
it does, yeah.
Shirts.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
actually made a new shirt, and on the back it says Team Zeph and then #ship porn. Because
perfect.
Yeah.
you love that D, the Enterprise D.
Yeah.
Yes.
On that note.
All right. Well,
this is turning into a rated R stream now.
It is. So thank you for joining us. It's been great hearing from you. I'll need to come down and visit you sometime soon, I think, or vice versa. We need to hang out.
Yeah, we need to have a beer soon.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But we will say goodbye to you now, and we got somebody else that wants to come in and chat with us for a little bit. So thank you very much for coming on. It was great talking to you, and looking forward to talking to you more for Trekyards soon. So
see you next time.
For sure. See ya.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so now
it's big again. So we're on episode 7, the Marquee Raider, and Stuart, you're wearing a red shirt, and you're still going up at you. And I think I've changed lenses because I was using DSLR then. I was using my 5D Mark II.
Looking back at that old stuff is just so cringy.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
No.
We need to redo all these episodes. Look, it's the Jaeger class.
It's the Jaeger class. And we've still avoided it for 4 years. Aren't you guys happy? December 9th. So we're almost at 2015, guys. We've managed to get 3 months of content in like 2 hours. Why are we talking? Yeah, because of the You know what? I'm gonna skip it. Just because it's the Jaeger, I'm skipping the second half of the episode. Now we're on December 26th. Okay. Merry Boxing Day, everyone! With a really cool intro of the. Oh, 29th century.
So
I forgot that. That was such an impractical L-cars. That was terrible.
We got somebody else that wants to join us. So this is Joe Torres. He's our head Trekyards admin guy. He's kind of the sergeant in charge of all the other admins under Samuel and myself, of course. So he wants to come in and chat with us.
Let me just say a few super chats before. AC Castello, thanks for 4 great years of Star Trek camaraderie. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoy. I think it's Joe. No, it's Adam. Trekyards is awesome. $10. Thank you. No one's special. You are special. No one's special. You are special. No one's special. $2. Congrats. So proud of you both. Thank you. We're proud of. I think. Are you proud of yourself, Stuart?
I am. Yes.
Luke 9511. Whooped Trekyards. Happy anniversary. Or technically it's W00T. Trekyards. Happy anniversary. $1.99. And David Cockings again. $10 at the top. Super chat if you can, guys. We want to support. We want to try and. We've got some cool plans, guys. We need a little bit of funding. So if you can. Oh, we forgot to even say we're selling prints, which I guess we're not doing. We'll have to do that another stream.
Oh yeah.
We'll do it.
Forgot about that.
We'll do a whole.
It's been kind of hectic.
It has. Nice though.
But
People
let's-
talking to people. We don't have to talk the entire time. My vocal cords get a nice rest when I have to talk the entire time. I mean, half
It's
the time.
true. It's true.
Let's do it.
Speaking of talking,
Yeah. Or
bring
not.
in Joe, shall we?
And this guy's episode 8, Transporters Part 1, still a superb episode of Trekyards that Stuart wrote.
I love that. That's one of my favorite episodes. Yes.
Yep. Hey! Again, David Cockings, super chat. Thank you.
Here he is, the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Torres. Everyone.
What's going on, guys?
Any video or audio today?
He's just
Audio.
audio.
Okay, I'll stay
No
big
one
then.
wants to see him. It's fine.
Hiya, Joe. Welcome to live Trekyards.
What's going on, guys?
A live
Not
stream.
too much. Yeah, you saw the beginning of it. It wasn't super great, but we're getting there.
No, I just got off of work and I made it home about 15 minutes ago.
Don't talk about it, Stuart. He thinks we're amazing. Don't ruin it
Oh
for
yes,
us.
we are.
Yep. 6 hours of streaming. It's been amazing.
Good stuff.
So how was work today, Joe?
Busy.
Good answer. All right. So, what's your first memory of Trekyards? When did you find Trekyards? I like this question.
Let's see. I was doing some. I was just bored. I was killing some time on YouTube. Found I forget what ship I was looking at. Maybe the Constellation, maybe, or the Constitution class. One of the two. I can't remember, to be honest. It was a while back, and I just started watching you guys, and I just got hooked. Very informative. Very awesome work with the graphics and animations on your guys' end. And then, there was nothing out there like that about 4 or 5 years ago that I really saw that I appreciated. And followed the trail that you guys left behind to the Facebook group. And I dared to message you. And we became friends. So,
and we've been insulting each other ever since on a daily basis, pretty much.
2015, maybe, right?
Yeah, probably somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So, and you are the head admin of Trekyards. So you're kind of responsible for all the other admins, and I feel bad because some of them were joined early on in this chat, but then had to get booted from the thing, and I feel bad. But anyway, so how's it been being an admin for Trekyards? Is it a fun job? Is it a hard job? Is it a headache?
It's got its rewards, but it can definitely be a pain in the butt.
I think it's worth saying, I hope you'll agree with this, not to sound arrogant, but I think we're probably one of the most active Star Trek Facebook groups on Facebook. I mean, we get dozens of daily new threads, and then presumably hundreds of comments. I mean, I think the most active group, one of the most at the very least.
Very much so. It's a lot to comb through. We're always looking for people to come on the staff and try to stay on top of monitoring comments, making sure everybody's behaving. But yeah, it's busy. It's a busy group. I've seen it go from the low 20s, low 20s all the way up into almost 35, I think, or something like that. Maybe at one point. I'm not sure where we're at right now, but I know it's an impressive number.
Yeah, it is. And we are very busy. You're right, Samuel. I get so many member requests a day for that. Which, I mean, how many admins do we actually have now?
I think we're around 9, 10.
Yeah.
6 of them are always active. That's for sure.
And you guys always keep everybody in line, which is nice, because we don't want it to devolve into some of the way some of the other groups on Facebook are. So I really appreciate all your time and effort that you put into things.
The fact is that we try and approach things neutrally, in the sense of we want to look at the good, look at the bad, analyze it, and as we always say, there's 3 ways you can approach a topic. There's say the Enterprise J, which is a controversial, love it or hate it. Either you can say, or post a comment, I effing hate this bitchy son of a bitch ship. Okay, option 1. Option 2, I don't like this design because the engines are too thin. 3, I don't like this design at all. So out of the 3, 1 is not worth posting. 1, again, not really worth posting. But the middle one, I don't like this because. There's no point being utter hate. You're not adding the conversation, and even just saying you don't like it again, you're just stopping the conversation dead. But say I don't like it, I do like it because then you can have a conversation. Then you can have discourse, and why else would you want to have a conversation if not to have a conversation? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's sometimes it's really great to see the conversations happen between individuals. Especially when people learn things from each other, because that's really an awesome thing that happens in Trekyards. But then then it de-evolves sometimes, and then you gotta separate people. It's just silly and pointless, especially when you get into, well, my version is better than your version, and you really don't matter. And
or it's canon, but also it's canon, but also it's not canon. It's like, well,
yeah. That's always a fun conversation. That's always popping up daily.
Yeah, because there's always people that are so convinced. You know, there's some people, as we've said before, some people call us Discovery apologists. Some people call us Discovery haters. And it's like, how can we have people... And we get on every video. How can we be called both on the same video? It doesn't make sense.
You can't please everybody.
You just can't.
If you say something one way, someone's going to get upset that you didn't say that you liked it enough, and someone's going to be upset that you didn't trash on it enough. So it is what it is. Take it with a grain of salt. It's new. It doesn't mean it's the best thing, but in Trekyards, you guys do a very good job of trying to walk the middle line, and I personally have done a lot to try to make sure the conversations go both ways. I've never wanted to ever shut anybody down when it comes to being negative, unless you're being downright nasty.
So is this official confirmation that you go both ways, Joe? On live? No, I'm just kidding.
That's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, I love busting his chops. That's what we do in the chat all the time. We have an unofficial admin chat where we just cut loose and just chill with each other and hang out and make fun of each other. It's awesome. So.
It's a lot of fun. You get to meet. If you come on staff, I'm sure eventually we'll be looking for some more admins on occasion, because they come and go. Whether things change in their lives, people get busy. In that case,
it's a genuine commitment to time, because this page. You got to remember that for this page, there's people on it every hour of every day, because we're all in different time zones. There is not a dull moment. There can't be, because it's every time zone. It's crazy. Yeah.
I'm definitely looking for admins from the Europe.
Look at this. Look, he's here. It's on here recruiting.
So we're always looking for help. And
we do offer healthcare, but only via holographic healthcare, which needs to be invented first. But it will be supplied as part of the deal.
You're still working on the graphics for the EMH, right?
Yep.
There we go. But in the chat, actually in the group earlier, I posed a question. If I would pick one question, okay, let me just go ahead and say who the winner was here.
If it's a win, you got to talk to us. But
all right. So Jamal Taylor wrote in and asked if you guys could go back to the beginning and tell yourselves one thing you should absolutely do or never do. What would it be? And I think that's in regards to the whole experience that you guys have had.
That's a tough question and puts us on the spot. Why would you ask that?
I thought it was very thought-provoking. That's what I said. But
because 4 years is quite a while now. I mean, I was still at university while it started. I mean, you can see me on the screen currently at university when doing one a week was a challenge, and we thought, let's try and do one a week, and we'll do each week be a different style of show to be something interesting, and people knew what was coming. That was a big deal. And so it's already 4 years from it's 3.5 years from just that. And so it's weird to be literally look on screen and see yourself and what you were thinking.
I'll tell you this much: it's interesting to actually be talking to you guys instead of just what I normally do and sitting here just watching and listening. So, but that's valid points there.
I mean, I guess the obvious joke answer is don't do it, but I feel like that would be too. Don't take Stuart's call. No. make a worse animation. I should have. You know what I should have done? For the original animation I sent to Stuart at the start of the whole thing, I should have used the JoJo prize, not the TOS Enterprise, and him be like, ugh, this guy. What a dick. I'm not gonna be friends with him.
That sounds like our chat. You should drop in and be amused sometimes.
Yeah, he's usually too busy though.
The show has to get produced either way, so you know.
Yes.
We've never missed a Saturday in 4 years. Not once. Never. We missed like
We are proud of that, yeah.
2 Wednesdays, I believe, and then we stopped Fleet Yards for a time. Then we haven't missed it after the fact. So yeah, we every time you always know it's coming, and you know,
absolutely.
nine times out of 10 it's at 5 p.m. GMT and 12 a.m. Stuart time. And what do you tell yourself? I mean, I think I would tell myself that don't worry, you're gonna get better. Because at the time we thought it was very good. Looking back, obviously it wasn't, but that
it was good enough to bring people in, though.
Yes. I think that what's nice is that I wouldn't have because thinking back, we assumed people would watch because that's why we made it, but we didn't make it actively to be like the next famous people on YouTube. That wasn't even a thought. So I don't know why we're actually doing it per se. You know what I mean? It's just, you know, I've been doing.
It's addictive. I remember putting out the first few episodes and. I remember we filmed a few, and I wanted to put them all right away. You're like, no, we need to do a release schedule. Relax. You need stuff in the buffer.
Yep, and the buffer, that damn buffer. Yep.
It becomes addictive to see that the comments on it and people liking it and sharing it and the build up, and then eventually, before you realize it, it's just this thing that's something that's all encompassing. You know.
I remember when we actually had to post pictures ourselves in Trekyards groups, try and drum up the chat. And now I couldn't, if I even tried to, I couldn't look at every comment and every post in a day. I just couldn't. There's no way I could.
So we have a new team. Oh, John Eves is here. He's in the YouTube chat. Hi. Still in the meeting, but had a sec to say howdy. Love you guys. So the great John Eves is here. He couldn't make it on Skype because he was in a meeting, but it's awesome that he's in the chat. So thanks you, John, for tuning in.
And I'll see you damn soon.
That's right.
Okay, one more question.
We didn't actually answer the question properly. Well, hold on, Stuart, what did you tell yourself?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Stuart.
I had answered that. You forgot.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I would just say, you know, you're going to meet these people that are going to be important in your life, and they're people you recognize the names, but you never really thought about what they did. And once you realize all the input they put in, it's going to be amazing to you that you're going to actually become friends with these people. And speaking of, I'm just with John in the chat there. I mean, it's amazing to see him here. So I would just say, just be confident in yourself and just make sure that you don't be afraid to talk to new people. And because we've built up such a wide array of behind the scenes people that I was just talking to Gary Kerr and Andrew Probert and a few other people today about this to see whether they could come on, and they're all behind the scenes people that have done so much for Trek, so they made Trek what it is, and it's amazing.
And our Trekyards family includes 36 amazing guests. And I'll jump back into that secondary answer. You know, again, never expected any of this stuff, and as a university student, it was just like I produced things. That's one thing I did in my spare time, quote unquote. It's like achieving things. But we just released World Reveal, and we'll do another video on Wednesday. The USS Horizon, my first ever properly designed Samuel Cochrane ship. I'm so excited to talk about it properly, and I got to co-design it with one of the legendary designers. And that's like, as a child that watched Star Trek, seeing and obviously registering and loving the shapes of these ships, and then be able to work with one of these people. You could, as we said at the start, we couldn't have guessed or planned to go where we went. We just sort of are here now. So that, if I told young me 4 years ago, hey, in 3 years you'll do that, I'm like, yeah,
exactly.
I'll believe it when it happens. The experiences are worth it, even though it's such a grind to produce this content. I mean, we do 3-4 hours of filming to create 2 or 3 weeks of content. I mean, it is so tricky and so draining. But
let me sorry to interrupt you. Let me put it to you this way though. When I started watching you guys again, just like Stuart said, some of these names I recognized them. I never put faces to them.
Mhm.
You guys have done that. You guys have put faces to these names.
Mm-hmm.
You've let them have a voice that we never heard. You've also, when you guys go to these conventions, there's a bunch of us out there who've never been to a convention, period. And the fact that we've got to see that from you guys, I've argued that in some of the chats that, or
That's
groups, that's something that's very unique that you guys have done and have brought all of us. And, I really appreciate that. And I want to thank you too. The other thing that, is like, don't stop doing missions. Don't stop going out. Don't stop meeting the people. Keep it up. It's very cool. And, I'm sure a lot of these people that are watching would absolutely love to meet you guys. And whether you have a beer, shake your hand. And I know that we would all just say thank you.
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So one last question from the group.
Okay.
It's an easy one. It's a quick one.
Yeah.
It is from Richard Hunter.
Sure it is.
And he says, I have a screen cap and I will send it to you. But he says, when will we see the first musical Trekyards episode?
Oh, the first musical Trekyards episode.
Well, I have a sub question for Stuart then. Is it going to be a proper musical or a shitty musical? Proper musical as in music written especially for that, like Grease or Greatest Showman, or a shitty musical where they don't do that and it's like Mamma Mia. It's like, let's fit it around the songs, So Stuart,
no, it'll be a good musical for sure.
So you're gonna write
it for the.
So you're gonna write the music, the Trekyards music, and
I can't write music to save my life.
Okay.
I can maybe do lyrics if I can hear the tune, maybe. And we could put research and ship facts in there. That's a great idea.
Voyager goes to warp 9.975. But only for 10 hours.
Okay, my final question to you guys from me is: what
Dude,
is your most
last
memorable
one,
experience? It is. What is your most memorable experience that you've had doing the show? Well, let's hear it.
Yeah, I've got mine ready loaded. If you want me to say first, Stuart.
Yeah, go ahead. So many.
So at Denver Comic Con, leading the panel, the last panel that we did together, and on that panel had legendary designer Rick Sternbach and Rob Bonshoon, who I got to know quite well, and you, Stuart, and Sean Turringer, and it's like, and here I am running this panel at a massive convention in the US with a room full of people, with all these people, and I was very proud. I thought it was very good moderating, and yet being part of it at the same time, and like actively calling everyone on the panel friends, which is very different than just they see a lot of panels at conventions where they're interviewing Nichelle Nichols or whoever, and they've met them that day, and they're not it's not a personal relationship, whereas this was like, well, friends with everyone here. That was a really special moment to be able to do that. Expenses paid to go to a convention, to work at a convention, and then talk to. That's really cool, really, really cool. It's not the best moment, but it's one that springs out as like, that was so cool.
I would just say, I think the best moment for me was when we went to LA and we met up with Doug Drexler at his house.
Yep.
And then Rick Sternbach showed up and John Eves showed up.
And Dorothy was there. Dorothy.
Yes. Spent the day hanging out with these legends. And the fact that Doug said, you can ask John Eves, but trust me, he won't come because he's always so busy, blah, blah, blah. And John Eves is listening to this, hopefully still, because he said he was secretly listening to this during his meeting. And so Doug bet me $5 that I couldn't get John Eves there. And we're sitting there on the couch. Me and Samuel on the other couch, and Rick's sitting across from Doug. And all of a sudden, Rick's like, looking out the front window, and Doug turns around and goes, oh my God, look at those chicken legs. That can only be one person. And sure enough, John Eves comes to the door, and he's got a bunch of gifts for everybody. He's got signed prints.
Mine got stolen, but oh well.
Oh, well, I still have mine.
Yeah.
But anyway, so, and then when he walked in, I got a picture of Doug Drexler and John Eves, because John Eves told me if I can show up, I'll try my hardest. If I can show up, I'll give you $5 just because. And so they're both handing me $5. I think that's my most memorable thing about this whole adventure.
You couldn't write that. You couldn't write it. You couldn't script it. You couldn't pay for that to happen.
Yeah.
Did you frame those?
The money?
Yeah.
No, unfortunately, I didn't. That's yeah.
Oh well.
Anyway,
Guys, thanks
That's-
for having
that's
me
my
on.
story.
Hey,
I
welcome.
appreciate it. You
Well,
guys
thanks for
are
coming on.
awesome to work with. Hopefully, I can come on and do this with you guys later.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll look forward to seeing you again in another stream sometime.
Cool.
You bet.
All right. Thanks, Joe.
You bet. Have a good one, guys.
Thank
too.
you. And now we're on
Bye.
episode 10, Enterprise J, the first guest special, Doug Drexler. And I'll just do some super
Nice.
chats while you like the next person.
I've got the next person ready to go. So
Superb.
do
We
some
got
chats first.
Squadra Course, $20. Amazing. That's you've no idea how much $20 helps. Hi guys, grats on 4 years. Thank you. Thanks for all the hard work you put into making these shows. Would give more. But I'm saving up for the episode and models. You know what? Also good. The German, Latinum for the Crown Royal. Thank you. €2.
He's the next person we're talking to as well. So.
Oh well, there you go. Perfect. And Adam again, being able to submit a fan creatorship and seeing it properly fleshed out in such an awesome treat for Trekyards officers. Yes, and we look forward to more. You've got some really great designs that we know everyone wants to see more of your designs. Yeah, cool.
Mhm.
Thanks.
All right. I'm going to get Z German in here. He wants to talk to us.
Okay.
He's been on many of our live streams.
Yes, he has.
And, he has 2 contact things. So I called them both. One will hit.
Johnny says, yeah. Says
Oh,
something.
sorry. Z German is here. So what's your real
Oh.
name? Sorry.
Sebastian.
Sebastian. Nice to see you. And you're wearing your Trekyards pinup shirt. That's awesome.
Exactly. And should I mute the audio on the YouTube channel or
Yes.
something like that?
Just talk to us on Skype. Then you'll be direct live. But yes, John Eve says, haha, that was a fun night. And we had Fuddruckers. That was the other night where we just got you all
That
to
was a
ourselves.
different night.
That was another special
Yes.
night, John. That was a good set of food. That was a good
Yeah,
place.
went to Fuddruckers, and then he took us to the spot where
Oh.
they took a picture of the Enterprise.
That was
Yeah,
surreal.
and we got a picture in the same spot, and then I photoshopped the ship in there. So
It was
that was amazing. Yeah.
Also can't, and that was you happened to be in LA at the right time. That was a wonderful, yeah. Sorry, Z German. Just had to interrupt you for John Eves there. Hope you don't mind.
No.
So thank you for coming on. We love hearing from our fans and stuff, and it's nice to put a face to the name on this chat.
But I think the question we're all wondering is: are you actually German, or is that tag a lie, a really well crafted lie?
No, I'm actually German.
Okay.
It started off as my Counter-Strike handle.
Nice.
Nice. Any relation to Z films or different Z's?
No, totally different Z's. I've never heard of Z until today.
There's two. There's extra Z and an extra E in there. So
I know.
yeah.
Just a stupid English joke, or a stupid Sam
So
joke.
I gotta ask. Do you like the Trekyard shirt? Is that treat you
Yeah,
good?
yeah,
Is it the right
great.
size and all that?
Well, one thought I had is I should have probably gone for the yellow version maybe, because the black comes a bit through, but it's pretty cool. So.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm glad you like it. We got more of those coming, by the way. Some
great designs.
Yeah, I heard you mentioned with different pinups and stuff like that. So looking forward to it.
Awesome. All right, so I've been asking this of everybody, but what's your first experience with Trekyards? How'd you find us and when and all that jazz?
All that jazz. Yeah, I've actually been thinking about that because I couldn't remember. It must have been probably. I just double checked. I started supporting you guys on Patreon around December 2017. So I must have started watching you guys a year before that, or maybe 9 months or something like that. So pretty recent.
Halfway. You've seen you skipped all the less good content. Yeah, exactly. You skipped all the less good content. And you've enjoyed the good content.
No, actually, I've been watching some of the old stuff, including some of all of Stuart's movie reviews. And on the top 10, most of them. Those are pretty good. Yeah.
It was actually those movie reviews that got me and Samuel to get working on Trekyards, because that's how we met. He watched one of those movie reviews and messaged me. So
yeah,
crazy person.
Yeah, you were. And I see you join us for a lot of our lives. What I gotta ask, what's the thing you enjoy most about Trekyards? Is it the technical knowledge you get? Is it the camaraderie between Samuel and me? Do you like my bad dad jokes?
Of course, who doesn't? I mean.
Yeah. Everybody says bad dad jokes. I like to say they're top shelf dad jokes, but
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, we're roughly the same age, so yeah. What's wrong with dad jokes? No, what do I like? Oh God, yeah. I mean, the ship stuff is not bad, but yeah, just general Trek chat, going on. It's
Yeah, a lot of people say that. It's like they say their family or their friends don't talk about Star Trek. They don't know about Star Trek. So they come and watch us and they feel like they're hanging out with friends because they see us all the time and they feel like they get to know us. And that's pretty awesome, actually. So I love hearing that kind of thing.
Yeah, same here. I mean, there's a few German podcasts which are probably not bad, but I don't watch them for some reason. I mean, you only have so much time. So you guys are lucky that I landed on your channel first.
Nice, thank you. One of our favorite guest stars is actually from your neck of the woods.
I'm guessing you're talking about Tobias Richter or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, he's from Cologne, which is like 15 minutes down the road from where I stay.
That is cool. Such a small world when you really think about it, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised that none of you guys, or at least Samuel, has never showed up to the FedCon convention here in where I live. I mean, it's supposed to be the biggest Star Trek convention in Europe.
Well, it's not a Star Trek event though. I mean, Destination is the biggest Star Trek event. FedCon just happens to be the biggest sort of general event. I mean, last year was a BSG super extravaganza. They had like 11 cast members and like 2 Trek. So I mean, it's not really a Trek event. It's just general sci-fi. But hey, if I'm invited, that's always the thing.
You can crash for free in my cellar,
That sounds very appealing. How
is
many
it a
dead
wine
bodies?
cellar? Because that might be a bad idea.
Well, my dad does have a few cases of wine stashed.
He won't.
Although there's actually a room down there, couch and everything.
Well, how close are you to the?
You're welcome anytime. I'm sure we'll.
Well, how close are you to the FedCon location then?
Somewhere.
Are you close to the FedCon building then?
Well, yeah. I mean, from it's about 15 minutes by train. I mean, I live in Bonn in the center, and then the hotel that it's normally in is around 15 minutes by train.
And the trains are good in that neck of the woods?
Well, yeah, it's not like England where transportation, public transport is non-existent.
No. America's non-existent. Our trains run on time all day.
England, I mean, I actually lived in Wolverhampton for 8 years. So.
Okay. Which part of the universe was that? Which years?
That was until the end of 2012, starting 2005. So 8 years complete.
And what was wrong with public transport then?
Oh, nothing. It just had a.
You complained about it 5 seconds ago. You.
Well, obviously you have the delays and everything. Although
in Wolverhampton, we don't know Wolverhampton. Live in good places. Oh no, cool. That's like I say, I want to go to FedCon at some point. But really, it's like at this point we are so because I've got 2 events I'm working at this year.
Yeah.
So everything has got to be like. I mean, we are not celebrities, but we do have a certain presence, and it's always good to go to an event as part of the Trekyards community because we can offer something and we can interview people, and I try and go to events more than just an attendee because we are more than just the average member of the public.
Definitely, yeah.
But are you going this next year then?
Well, I went the last 2 because I think the first time I went was only like 2 years ago. And
2 Battlestar. They got 2 Babylon 5 people and a Stargate and a Star Trek and a. Don't know. I haven't checked up any further, but
No, the only autograph I got was at last year's. I went and got what's the guy's name? Casper Van Dyne from Starship Troopers. Yeah, that was my first and only autograph. I bothered to go because I had. You've probably heard of the miniatures game. No? Okay, well, there's a Starship Troopers miniatures game which was released like 10 years ago, back in 2007.
Oh.
And so Mongoose Publishing. So since I'm into miniatures,
cool. Oh, wow.
The rule book, so I went and had it signed by him.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, that's really cool.
Actually, I'm going to ask you in case if you guys have heard of the Star Trek Adventures miniature game or role game.
Yes.
You have.
Oh, I actually want some of these.
Yeah.
No,
I was wondering how come you guys have never mentioned it or managed to get sponsored by them. I mean.
Oh, I legitimately love Roughnecks.
Extra income for you guys,
No, I legitimately love the Roughnecks show a lot, and I can see they've got the tanks and stuff. How expensive are these miniatures? Because I would actually kind of be I mean, are they expensive? Sorry,
We
Stuart.
talked
This is
about
so
Star
like
Trek.
not. No, the Roughnecks ones. The Starship Troopers, because they got Roughnecks designs. I really like the Roughnecks designs.
Oh, yeah, but those they stopped producing it in 2007. So
I want them though.
if you're lucky, you can find it on eBay.
Oh, I want a tank though.
That's so
No,
funny.
I don't think they
I
never did
want
any
them
tanks.
to.
They just did.
Well, no, they're Walker tanks. I mean, they
Oh, yeah,
Walkers.
those the mech ones.
Yeah.
The mechs.
I just don't want to
Yeah,
paint
yeah.
them though.
Yeah, those you can actually get pretty cheap.
Okay,
It's just bugs that
$9.99.
are expensive.
$9.99. Okay, that's one.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so-
Stuart. This is diverted hugely to a military conversation with a German. You feel very left out, don't you?
Well, that's fine as long as people are talking. This is good. I mean, that's what we need to keep the flow going here.
We learned something new about Commander Cockings. He's into Starship Troopers.
Yeah, I love it. No, I've met Catherine Dean. I have a really good fellowship with him. That's why I really like that one. And it's funny. I was the very last person on his photo shoot, and that often means if you're. I mean, I've been doing conventions for over 10 years, so I have a little bit of experience that lets you be a little bit more confident. And so, everyone was coming out, and I happened to know the guy who was doing the photos because it's my local event. And I was able to, for 1 minute extra, which doesn't sound like a lot, but in the convention world, a minute is actually quite a long time extra. I was able to say, hey, I mean, he gets this all the time, but I really enjoyed the movie. One of the best of its kind, absolutely. You know, your acting was very, very good, and got a real little moment with him that was, he went straight on his phone after the photo shoot, was like, hi, sorry. You just took a photo with me. Little conversation, but it was nice. It was very unpressured. He was yeah.
To be fair, he's not in very high demand. Even when I went to see him, there was no line or anything.
Oh, he was at this event. If you're listening, Casper, we all love you. We all want to meet you. Oh, sorry.
It's a shame because I mean he did a great job in Starship Troopers,
And I thought he did a good job in the third one as well. Just the story let it down.
The third one, yeah. The second one was terrible.
Second one is not even worth mentioning, but the first 20 minutes of the third one is ace. It's very, very good, and it devolves thoroughly.
Have you seen the new animated one where he does the voice?
Well, he doesn't do the voice.
The Traitor of Mars one.
He doesn't do the voice, but he's the executive producer. It's his character, but he doesn't do the voice.
He doesn't? I thought he actually acted in it.
Right, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because he was promoting it at FedCon.
Well, no, because he's an executive producer, so he helped. He was very influential, but he didn't actually do the voice. Hold on.
It sounded like him, but yeah.
Well, that's the point.
I'll defer to you. I'm sure you know better.
Oh no, he said Johnny Vico voice. Oh.
Yeah.
Or is that the one I've even seen? Is that the? Because there's one before that.
You mean the invasion one?
Yes.
Yeah, no, he wasn't involved in that one, as far as I know. That's pretty good as well, the Japanese one.
Yes, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, I should watch this then.
The Traitor of Mars, it looks great, but the story is terrible.
And why would you sign up if it's that bad? I mean, sure you read the script and stuff. It's just do better stories.
Well, money, he probably gets paid for it.
I'm assuming so.
Money talks, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Sorry, Stuart. Hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
Exactly, yeah.
Trekyards 4th anniversary. That's why we're talking.
Exactly.
Yep.
Actually Googled what is it called? Crown Royal, because I'd never heard of it before. Yeah. Pretty interesting.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it has a pretty interesting history. Something about a rabbi meeting some guy and whatever. The royals running away with 4 cases when they came to visit, or something like that.
Stuart just gets drunk off it. That's all he knows.
Right?
It fuels his fire.
Fuels his fire.
No, that devolved.
Right.
So favorite moment of Trekyards then. Favorite moment.
Ooh.
Favorite moment. Oh God. Off the top of my head, probably. Well, besides this, the live stream you had with Gaius Petronius Stephanius Tirpalanos, your father.
That's a good memory. That's a good writing it down.
Actually, I wrote it down.
I guess you can go back and watch it, can't you? So it's not that much props. You just go back and watch it 5 times to get it right.
Exactly,
Okay.
I actually managed to find his infamous orgy scene in the documentary. Those 2 seconds.
Oh, I too have seen this.
But it's really hazy in the background, and it's not even worth mentioning.
Okay, you keep
Exactly.
talking. I'm going to deal with this. You keep talking. 1 second.
Deal with what? What's he going to do? I'm scared now. So
Run
yeah.
off to curse his dad. He's going to be traumatized for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Okay, I really don't want to hear about this anymore, so I'm just gonna end it all.
My lips is sealed.
With a
Shall never be mentioned again.
Okay, yeah? Everyone clear? Don't want to shoot myself with a very, very, very large phaser rifle.
I'm sure it's on disintegrate. Nobody wants to clean that up.
Well, exactly. If you're going to do it, let it vaporize, you know?
Shush you. Painted this myself. God, sorry, we really derailed it. Everyone's not talking anymore.
A question I had, considering that Discovery, did a major rollback on the Klingon thing, are you guys more hopeful for the Picard show?
Yes, it was announced today that it's not going to be related to the Discovery show at all, apparently. So I'm optimistic, but I'm still cautious because of
I'm sure they'll subtly link to it. Because there's different. Because like you'd link to any other old Trek show, I'm sure they will, just not like, look, it's Burnham's great grandmother or daughter. She's the lead. She's Picard's second wife, and it's like, really, guys? I mean, a little more excited. It's one of those things that Brian Fuller set in motion some seriously heinous things, and that they're able to roll them back, but they can't change them all without really losing face. And those that have gained, the audience they've gained, will be lost if they change everything back. So, fresh show, fresh team. Hopefully, it's not quite a fresh team, which is sad because the team they have is not the best. But hopefully, Patrick Stewart will put his foot down and at least just be consistent. But as I said before to Stuart on stream, at least Discovery you can sort of ignore as being reboot past that doesn't affect the future. Once they do the future, that's now the future of Trek. You've now set the future. And like I'd rather see a more utopian rather than dystopian. If they say Federation is in shambles, Section 31 has done martial law, and eugenics has destroyed half of the Klingon Empire and half of the Romulans, it's like, oh, wow, that's what happened to Gene Roddenberry's future. Shit. Okay. So hopefully they'll do it with respect. He knew Gene quite well, so I'd hope he'd. But then they also want to do new things that are interesting, and telling the same stories that are positive and fun is the same thing again. So it's tricky.
Well, fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think they'll do a good job. I mean, they need to really satisfy the TNG fans and the people that really respect the Prime timeline, even though they say Discovery is. I mean, they can make both camps happy if they do it properly. So that's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, and it's not even that hard. I mean, if you simply reading through the comments on Trekyards or whatever, there's so many great ideas out there in the community. You ask yourself, how can they, screw up that badly with stories? It's like.
Well, we just talked about for those few seconds. How can they make a bad Starship Troopers thing? It's like, come on, just tell a good story. Why are you picking the story? Why are you putting millions of telling a bad story? I mean, it's just isn't that difficult to tell a good story. Just really think about it, break it down. I mean, that's one of the big things about Discovery is that it's so poorly thought out and so poorly written. Give them the time to probably write it. Give the time to probably plan it. Give them time to put the depth in, and it will be better. It's not rocket science. Like Deadpool. Not only the first one, not only did you have the passionate people behind it, but that script was rewritten over like 5 years until it was perfection. And when it was made, it was perfection in terms of a script.
It was,
I mean, that movie is an incredibly good movie. It was worked on to a T by passionate people that understood and respected the canon, and fans loved it.
Anyways, I'm sure you guys have lots of other people lined up who are desperate to call in.
A few, yeah. So it was nice to finally meet you. Like I see your name all the time in the lives. So.
I'll keep chucking the Latinum your way, as much as I can afford it.
Latinum makes the warp core go round, or up and down, or just pulsate. There you go.
Right. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us from Germany, which is awesome.
Yes.
And we will see you sometime later.
Cool.
Right.
Yep. Thanks so much.
See you around. Bye.
Bye. All right. We got some more super chats.
Yep.
Lost Wings sent us $15
Oh,
with no
15.
comment.
Thank you so much. I like your avatar. I don't know what it is, but I like it.
John Hathcock, $1.99. Fish and chips or poutine.
I mean, come on, it's
Depends
obvious.
on my mood.
Come on.
Depends on my mood. Sometimes good fish and chips is really, really good, and you really crave it. And once you see it on the menu, you have to have it. But poutine for the win, because it's the every time, every day, every meal food.
You know, my mum, who's an experienced traveller of the world, had never heard of poutine until I mentioned it last week. That blew my mind.
Wow.
I didn't understand that. No, come on, fish and chips is a real meal, a real balanced meal. Poutine is not a real balanced meal. It might be lovely, but it's not a real balanced meal. So I think fish and chips are going to win just by pure real meal factor. Just saying.
All right. Also, whatever, ISFJ 1009, $10, being able to submit a fan created fleshed out as such an awesome treat. Oh, we already read that one.
Double super chat.
I have somebody that wants to join.
Okay.
Captain George. He's he is a devout follower of Anti-Trekker and now of Trekyards, and
so he's new.
He's a Star Wars guy. Star Wars guy.
Oh gosh.
And then after that, I got Grim Panda that's going to be in the lineup. So,
and
but I want to get going soon because it's getting long and late, and I haven't eaten, and I'm dying.
Oh no! And a Scottish Trekkie also wants to join. So let's do some quick fire. Captain George.
Yeah. Hi. Captain George, welcome.
How are you guys?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Happy 40th. Well, 40th. No, I failed.
I'm 50. I'm 53, and I'm still doing Trekyards.
At least I provided humor.
Thank you.
I'm sorry that you're starving.
Well, that's okay. It's running way longer than I originally expected it to, but that's good. It's going well. It's just I haven't eaten all day.
I mean, to be fair, you could just grab something. I can just keep chatting to people, and then come back.
If you want, just keep talking. I'm going to see what Sylvia's got.
I mean, to be fair, we could pull in like 3 people, and then I could just like have a round table for a few minutes while you go out for like 10 minutes.
Well, we'll see. I gotta see what's going on here.
I've got other work to do. But yes, sorry, Captain George, this is your time, not ours to talk about food. Go ahead.
Yes. Don't worry, I love food too. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Well, one of the questions I noticed you guys were asking is how do I see Trekyards, and that is very, very weird considering it got recommended to me. And if you look at my avatar, it's because I'm a big Star Wars person, and it's just like Trek. I'm like, YouTube, why you do this?
Because they make smart things. They make it go.
Yes, they pack lid. They make things go.
You are a Star Trek fan. You are a Star Trek fan.
Yeah, I am a Star Trek fan. I watched it ever since I was in middle school, and I've graduated school now, so I've known it for a while. I got introduced through TNG, but that's besides the point. I'm
back on food.
Yes, back on food because I'm starving. No, I'm Anti-Trekker's director of social media. Captain Foley would know that. But I'm a mod for other YouTubers, such as Eckhart's Ladder, Anti-Trekker, Lore Reloaded. And I try to do my YouTube channel, but it fails constantly. That's besides the point. I like your guys' channel because it's easy to be like the Mecha Random or the Doomcock of YouTube and just provide hate on something constantly. It feels like that's what people like the most too is on YouTube, but I like you guys because you guys go, here's the good, here's the bad. You guys can have your own opinion about it. We don't need to throw our opinion in it. It's just here's the facts. You do with what you will.
Just the facts, ma'am.
It's all I need.
Yeah, and often, if we have an opinion, like Discovery Klingon Bird of Prey doesn't like a Klingon Bird of Prey. We showed the Enterprise Bird of Prey and the Star Trek 3 Bird of Prey and put it in the middle and said, "Here's the evolutionary line. The facts are the visuals. So it's just, we show it. Oh yes, Stuart.
I just we missed a comment from a viewer who's a 12-year-old. His name is Seth Jerry.
Oh.
and
Hi.
we missed his comment. It went scrolled by, so I feel bad. I just want to give him a shout out. I
Hi, yeah.
will try to find your comment, but yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead. I just wanted to call that out.
Hi. What was I?
Hi.
Oh yeah, balanced. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of the time we like to prove what we say because opinions are great, but showing it
believe there's
visually
an
is important too.
expression.
Yeah.
On food, I believe there's an expression: "The proof is in the pudding."
Yeah.
And I think we're just making Captain Foley hungry.
And I'm actually hungry as well. You're actually making me hungry as well. So thank you. We do try. Obviously Discovery's a hard line to work with. I think JJ. I think we're a bit. Ironically, we're more anti JJ because it's so it's meant to be a separate universe. So obviously the rules are different, and yet it's meant to link at the first place, but they don't. It's tricky when an art department actively ignores the initial version and chooses something different. It's so tricky to talk about. Very tricky.
Yeah, because it feels like a giant degree of separation. Because you have it's supposed to be in there, and then it's not in there at all. It looks drastically different. If you look at the Franklin, it looks bizarre in comparison.
Yeah, it's like they took a step out of left field, which can happen, but there isn't any justification for any of the pieces because that wasn't the design choice. Yeah. Well, thank you. Any favorite moments of Trekyards? Any favorite videos or comments or renders? Because always.
I might be biased. I loved your video on the Imperial Star Destroyer.
I think you're biased.
I think you're
Thank
biased.
you.
Yes.
Yes, and I hope you do the one before it, the Venator Foley.
Yes, I know. Everybody keeps asking about the Venator class Star Destroyer. At some point.
What's the joke? Is that just another episode or?
No, I just keep getting asked about it by this guy. That's all. Every time I'm on the Anti-Trekkers live.
In one live stream.
And in our live streams, yes.
No, okay. I've never done it in your live stream. The only thing I've ever done in your live stream is beat you at adversaries.
Somebody.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he did. Somebody keeps requesting it in our live stream as well. I've seen it a few times. That's why it's it irks me.
And
I would not go into the enemy's field and then do that.
And Kevin George, why do you think we haven't done an Avenger class? Make a guess based on our other content if you can.
It's a piece.
Your focus is. Hey, wait a minute. What did you just say?
I was talking to somebody over there. Hi. Yeah, it's crap.
Yes, right. We're talking to London Batman in the background.
Oh, he's not here today.
Sadly.
But yeah.
No, not that reason. Another reason, based on what we did for our Star Destroyer episode. Any idea?
Nope, but I guess your main focus is Star Trek.
No, because we haven't got a good 3D model of it. We want to do new renders, new scales. That's what we try and do is add something extra. It's not just It's not just showing the same pictures that are available online. It's about actually adding something to the conversation and seeing her in scale, especially compared to normal Star Destroyer and then Enterprise D and such. She's much smaller. Will be really interesting. So we've got to get that model, got to get converted, and it just takes time, thought, energy, and it's not the most interesting ship. No offense.
Yikes.
Just not.
On that note,
we
should move on.
Yes.
Because sorry, Captain George.
Sorry.
It's nice to have you. And
sorry.
Lore Reloaded wants to come on and talk to us about a few things.
Oh.
Yes, the lore master who messed up with Star Trek 3.
We're not going to get into that right now.
And the D7 episode. I want him to get me to help him redo because it needs it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to bring him on. So thank you, Captain George, for coming on. It's great hearing from you, and thank you very much. So I'm going to call this right now. We're doing Lore Reloaded.
Okay.
Then we're going to do Grim Panda as one of the last one, and then we're going to call it quits.
Okie doke. So last minute super chats, guys.
I apologize anybody that hasn't had a chance to talk to us. We'll do something like this maybe once a month. Maybe do a hour-long fan talk. Anyway, we'll figure something out.
We've been going almost 3 hours, so I mean, we don't do those long live streams, so certainly helping. And just to call out, Gatian Bard, $20 Canadian. Happy birthday! Thank you. I love to see the next generation to keep the dream alive. I'm the same age of Stowe, and do enjoy listening to you kids. I think in Star Trek. Long live and prosper from the French Canadian. Thank you. Oh, and Z German again, €5. Thanks for having me. P.S. I second the musical Trekyards idea. Fueled by Crown Royal or Romulan Ale. Also agree with the captain that we need more Gorn love. Ah.
Pornography, if you will.
Next guest, before it devolves even further.
Hold on one second. I just got to get
Okay.
his information because I can't recall.
I will vamp then. Look, guys, we're on Trekyards episode 11 when Stuart sort of insisted we do the Dreadnought, TOS Dreadnought, and I was like, oh,
I love that shit, man.
I know, we did, and we seriously need a reboot of it because he put the uniform on for that. That was a special one. I'm still wearing the exact same. I think I wore that jacket almost every time on purpose. Although you can tell sometimes by the angle which session, we filmed several in a go. That was a way of buffering. Let's skip to...
Oh, here comes in Lore Reloaded. So
I'm going to skip to DS9 Rick Sternbach, another guest episode. We're skipping to March 17th, 2015, and only 16,000 views. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Add some views to this. I mean, come on, it's definitive. It's designing with Rick Sternbach. You can't, get any more definitive than that. And look who we have. Do you have video today, Law, or not? Or audio? There he is.
There's video.
But no audio.
We got no audio, though.
Best you ever sounded.
This is the best Lore I've heard.
Smartest Law.
He's been feeling sick, so he's not feeling the best. So
I have been pretty sick. You guys hear me? Is it okay?
Yes. I have sound. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, Captain Foley, I understand that the Venator may be a little more advanced than what you're used to when it comes to breaking stuff down. So I'll be happy to do it on my channel. And you don't have to do it, buddy. I get that advanced technology may be more than the original series stuff. So I understand.
Turbo lasers.
Yeah.
You go ahead. You'll deal with that.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing pretty good. How you doing? Besides feeling sick.
Yeah. Congratulations on 4 years. That's really cool. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I say this a lot, but you guys were one of the main inspirations for how my channel ended up and everything, right? Without you guys, the Lore Reloaded wouldn't exist. So
we're sorry, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. It's your fault.
Yeah, it is fine to think we were one of the, obviously the idea of going through information on shows exploded after us. We weren't one of the firsts, but we were certainly, if not the first, one of the first Trek. So it's interesting to see the landscape change in 4 years.
Right. Well, I imagine you guys were probably inspiration for a lot of channels, even if they don't talk about it and whatnot. Not even specific to Star Trek, but like Star Wars or whatever, because you guys know your stuff. So it's pretty awesome to see the channel expand and everything and see how far it goes.
Yeah, well, we're hoping for another 4 years, hopefully.
I'll be 29. I didn't say 5 years either. I'm in 30, and don't talk about being 30. No.
Oh my God. Really? You're that young, man. Damn.
No.
I wish I was that young. I wish I could go back in time.
But then you'd miss me. Yeah. I'd only be an embryo in my non-existent state. That's going to go even worse there. No, I wouldn't be alive, Stuart. You'd miss me too much.
Yeah, I'm in my 30s too. That makes me feel bad.
So, no, it's I haven't really talked to you, Laura, much. Like, I've talked to you on Twitter, of course, but it's nice to actually sit down and chat with you again.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked some.
A little bit, but it's usually on Twitter, direct message. It's not very, Did you watch the Anti-Trekkers live stream last night?
I didn't. Usually he does it when I'm asleep. Were you on it again?
So were you. There was a photoshopped image of both you and I.
Oh, really?
Done by Acid Designs.
Gosh.
He closed the show with it, and it was bouncing, dancing together. It was quite hypnotic.
Well, see, now I'm gonna have to go see it. So you guys may have talked about it. I've been so busy. I've been on and off listening. But what's the next 4 years? Where's Trekyards going beyond owning CBS? You guys should be working for CBS by now, in my opinion. As much as you know, as many contacts as you have.
I agree.
We would certainly help.
Where's the nearest drain? Where are we going for the next 4 years? I don't know.
Yeah. things?
We want
Bobs?
we want to go to more conventions and make more appearances, and apparently a lot of people consider us the go-to people for this kind of thing, and we're well known whether we think it or not on YouTube. So it's good to hear that, but I don't always believe it, because sometimes I watch your videos or I watch Anti-Trek and I'm like, damn, that was a good video. Then I think back to what we do and it's like, I think they did a better video than we did.
Well, you guys are a primary source. Well, I don't. I go when I do my research, and I know Captain George is jealous of my numbers, so that's why he keeps bringing up the small mistakes, because I never make any large mistakes or anything like that, But no, when I do my primary, research, you guys, I look to see if you have a video on the topic first, and I listen to that. Sometimes you do like 6-hour videos. I can't listen to the 6-hour ones, but.
That'd be a long MOV H264 file if it was a 6-hour file. I wouldn't render that.
Yeah,
terrible.
But I listen to your videos because I think you guys are well researched in what you put together. So I mean, again, I think that a lot of Star Trek channels probably do that too. So, even though it's packaged differently, I don't think that it has any less value or it can be better or worse. It depends on what people come for, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if people want breakdowns or they want to see models that are actually rendered together and look really nice, then there's only really one place to get that. If they want a smart aleck fat dude who has a cold, they come over to my stuff. So I mean, it's just different, what different people want.
And we're also very middle of the road.
There's a good comment. There's a good comment in the chat. 90 Lancaster says Trekyards slightly more accurate than Space Stock. Chuckle.
Okay.
Don't know what to say to that.
Is that an inside joke or is that just something?
That's not an inside joke.
It is to him apparently. No, I think we're interesting. We started as a documentary. That's important to remember. It was presenting the facts, and then talking to the people. Whereas most of the other people, they just present it as a fact sheet with either personality or no personality. You have personality, Space Stock doesn't. That's not. A documentary is different to that.
Right.
And because we're so in the middle, it doesn't quite lead to people that have either opinion. We suffer by not going onto either camp when it comes to Discovery. Less on JJ, because I think most people share an opinion on that. But you know what I mean? It's very like we're middle of the road because we have both opinions, which means people think of us more as an authority, but also we're not necessarily loved by everyone or watched by everyone. It's a strange way to be, but
Well, I forget. I think it was Mecha Random or Trekker that referred to our videos as evergreen videos because they're always there. People are always watching them because they are, like you said, a resource for somebody that wants to do an episode on a particular put into Google or YouTube and find a video on it. So there's always people visiting our stuff. It's not like some other channels where it's just relevant, happening in the moment that you do a live video on and then it doesn't really get much traction after that. So that's what I think is great about our channel is the fact that that's all documented information. The interviews with the designers are it's documented Trek history and it's stuff that people can go back to and watch anytime. So I really like that.
Although we do suffer from having longer videos that have everything.
Yes.
It's not super short, super bite-sized, but it is everything.
Right. But I mean, YouTube goes in and out of that stuff. So I mean, eventually they'll come back to wanting longer videos and less uploads and stuff. They do all that stuff. But again, I mean, it's a wonderful resource. I wouldn't be surprised, and I'd imagine they've probably told you where you have gaming companies like Modifus or whatever that'll watch your stuff as well.
I've talked to one, but heard from one.
Well, we've heard that the CBS department puts on Trekyards sometimes and watches videos.
Art department,
yeah, to get input and stuff. So
so there you go. So you're impacting it at a professional level as well. So
just not necessarily YouTuber level.
So.
We've not conquered YouTube, just conquered professionalism. Just doesn't quite equate to YouTube.
I think you guys are rougher on yourself than me. Your numbers are excellent. I think you're harder on yourselves than I don't think you give yourselves enough credit. I mean, get it. You can always be better. Everyone can always rule YouTube, but you guys do rock it out. I think, in my opinion, at least.
Well,
you'll always be in my heart. Look at that.
Well, then,
speaking of that, when you watch the end of Anti-Trekker's video from last night, just keep that in mind that we're always in your heart. It'll hit home when you see what I'm talking about.
Was that the one where he says, "Hey, did I get this title right?" Because I'll have to go and look at that. Do you remember?
No, I think it was last night. So I think his title was, "This is the oldest you've ever been and the youngest." I forget
okay.
how it goes. Yeah,
I'll have to check that out. Okay. Last question for you guys, because I'll have to get off soon too. But what is your favorite episode on your channel that you've done?
I used to have a favorite, but I have to think about that now. Huh.
Yeah, that's a very good question. Probably one with Doug Drexler would be my answer. I honestly don't know. I'd have to. We've done a lot of episodes. I feel like William Shatner right now being asked what's your favorite episode. Because that's the thing. I mean, I understand them a little more now because people will be like, "Hey, I love what you said about this ship in this video," and I'm like, "Okay, I was probably filmed like 6 months ago. Just got released today. I didn't even know it was on the release schedule, and you're asking me about it. I don't remember filming it." And there's certain ships. I'm like, "Samuel, we got to do this ship," and he's like, "We did do that ship
a year ago."
I'm like, "Oh, well, never mind then."
Good job.
Yeah.
So I honestly can't say what my favorite video is, to be honest. I'd have to look over the list and.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through furiously because I'm trying to find. I have a couple of favorites for different reasons. Originally, it was John Eves' video because on the Enterprise Z, because it was so informative, so interesting, and so detailed that it was like, wow, this is the video on the Enterprise Z. But I think I've got some more favorites. I really enjoyed the Akira class episode, and these are all personal, milestone-y things. I was the very first person in the history of the universe to put on screen the real Akira class model from First Contact at the real warp effect from Enterprise. I was the first person in the universe of history. And it looks canon, you know what I mean? That looks canon, it is canon by all accounts of what the physical parts are. That's like absurd to me that I was the first person in the universe to do that. Okay, cool. And then at the Enterprise J, the redo, taking the first version from our first episodes, doing it again with Doug, really getting the informative stuff, really detailing, getting new stuff never heard before with the original model, showing it off properly to a modern standard, really up the bar and showing that we could do something truly special again. A couple of things like that, like 3D firsts that been and Pegasus. Pegasus was a hell of an episode as well for me as a fan. Again, to work with that was really special.
Pegasus was fun. It was fun to write, even though didn't know much about it.
You did by the end of it.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I love that sort of 3D stuff slash first in the world sort of ones, because I can say that about quite a few things. I have lots of world firsts.
It says our video output is low. It's low quality right now, so.
What, the stream?
Well,
viewers may experience buffering.
Well, everyone's going to need to go check those out then. Kind of go through the history, as it were.
Well, there we go. Yeah. What's your favorite video? Haha.
Well, I mean, I like a lot of your new stuff with the live streams that you guys have been doing that's going back and forth. I like the Akira, but I'm always been a fan of the Akira anyway. That's one I'd have to think about too. I do gotta say I do like the Akira one. And when you guys do fan fiction, I think you bring some more realism to it. Because fan fiction films, they can be it can be like a skin. It can be like Discovery, where it has a Star Trek skin. But the way you guys break it down, make them feel more real and stuff like that too. So yeah, I mean, I'd have to think about it. But yeah, I'd have to agree with the Akira for sure. And anyone that I was in, of course,
Which I was going to bring up. You should definitely join us for more debates, because everyone seems to love those debates. Because they're not the normal format. They are interesting. They're truly debating a topic where just is interesting.
Yeah, we need you and Anti-Trekker on at the same time. Oof. That'd be an interesting discussion.
Yeah, that'd be fun. We know what we need to do. All four of us need to get together for Star Trek Discovery and do the breakdown of the short treks and the actual episodes. How interesting would that be? Like a simulcast, all four of us.
That'd be a thing.
I don't think Cockings would be tired. He would probably not be when normal people sleep on his side.
Well, it wouldn't be now in the day. It would be much earlier in the day than now.
For sure.
Yeah, it is pretty late, so.
Well, I caffeinated up for this, glad to be awake. Well, final answer from me. I've got to then say, I went back and looked. Come on, the Prometheus 3-parter with Rick Sternbach, which is a 35-minute piece and 40 minutes of interview with him, asking all the questions I ever had with the real model, my favourite ship, full detail. You could. That's just that. I mean, everything is so perfect in the episode, and I did like 27 new animations with her, which is ridiculous. So that was a real joyous piece to make.
Oh, did it crash?
I can still hear you, but you're very tinny.
And now, guess who's lost this? Guess who's lost the audio for the whole. Stuart, you're no longer on the mainstream. Huzzah! Say something, Stuart. So, welcome, guys, to the. No, there is no audio. Okay. I'm gonna. This is unhelpful. Okay, I'm gonna start playing our Trekyards video. I'm gonna mute myself and see if I can get us to be whatever.
You know, the pylons had a particular kind
Someone's
of
being
curve.
sarcastic.
In Cardassian cities.
No, I feel like this is. I think it's another restart thing. So there you go, guys. Now that the main lead Trekyards is just talking. Wow, what a. No, nothing's disconnected because I can hear them, and yeah. So, guys, if you wanna mime your final thoughts,
We'll be done.
All right.
We can dance together.
he's saying, "I love you all. I'm dancing.
I
I'm
do.
dancing.
I'm in
Look at
love.
me. I'm
Gotta
dancing."
do that.
Oh,
Love you.
And the problem is, I listen to
Oh,
them, so I'm just like,
right.
I'm sort of.
Yeah, so you translate for us. Why are we doing this when you can just say, "This is what he said"?
Oh, this is what he said. Stuart says. This is a stupid problem to have, but hey, at least we lasted 2 more hours, guys. 1, 2. Oh, well, I've changed everything since. $12 years. Bye, Law. Wow. Yeah. So I was hearing nothing from any of my things. So even if it did come back for a second, I have no idea what caused that, because it's not saying anything on my side. So yeah, no, I tried everything, and I guess one thing worked, but it didn't register on mine, so I couldn't see what didn't work. So there you go, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to this super mega ultra long stream. Stuart, you've been forced into taking the rest of it off, as if we were going to do much more. So he wanted to talk to Grim Panda, but can't. He said can't. I said can't. We just had a language barrier thing. Can't. 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 It's just going to call it a wrap. It's a wrap. Called it a wrap. He's making him do his dad jokes now. See, this is awful for us, but it's great for Stuart to get to enjoy both sides of this conversation. Once again, happy anniversary. Thank you. And yes, thank you to everyone who super chatted throughout the entire thing. We didn't say Jason, Vanek, Almazan. Sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, 1701. So you're reading it, Stuart, but they can't hear you. They can't hear you. Boom, boom, all that. Long live and prosper to all one. Happy for his Trekyards super friends, and we talked over each other there, but we did it really. So thank you so much, guys. It's been a wonderful 4 years. And I guess we'll talk to you. We've got a bonus video coming out tomorrow, haven't we, Stuart? Using sign language. Bonus video tomorrow. Bonus video on Friday. And then a video on Saturday. And then a live stream on Sunday. And then thanks all. 4 years, indeed, like it began with a crummy audio. Do you remember? And I know Stuart can't respond per se, but the very first time we tried to record our initial audio for the initial promo, yeah, we had to record it 4 to 5 times because everything went wrong. Mostly on my end, because I was actually recording it, so obviously I was running all the things. And so now, 4 years later, it's audio again on my end. Something you can do your audio. Full circle. So yeah, thanks guys, and I'll let Stuart do a big heartfelt goodbye, and then I'll say goodbye myself. Thanks guys. Have a great rest of the day, and we got to Trekyards episode 18, March 17th, 2015. My God. Bye guys. Have a great rest of the things. See you tomorrow and all things. Bye everyone.